Hey everyone, ever looked at a church and just wondered, what's it for? Today we're going to tackle that big question, and we're going to use some really cool, simple pictures to make it all make sense. Let's jump in.
Seriously, have you ever sat inside a church, or maybe just walked by one, and thought to yourself, what's the real point of all this? Beyond the songs or the talks, what is it actually supposed to be doing in the world? Well, that's exactly what we're going to find out.
Okay, so the easiest way to get it is to stop thinking about a building. Instead, think of the church as a team that's been put together for a super important mission, to share God's goodness with the entire world. Now, sharing goodness sounds nice, but what does that really look like in action? Well, luckily for us, the Bible gives us 3 amazing pictures, kind of like clues in a treasure hunt, to show us exactly what that mission is all about.
All right, our first picture is a big one. Imagine the church as a fortress, a place where you can be totally, completely safe.
The Bible actually uses these words. It calls the church God's fortress, his city of refuge. Now, a city of refuge was a real thing in ancient times. It was a special town where people could run if they were in danger and be perfectly safe. Pretty cool idea, right?
So picture a giant, super strong fort. Inside those walls, everyone looks out for each other. They support you when you're having a hard time, and they protect each other from all the crazy, tough stuff that can happen out in the world. So that's job number 1 for the church, to be a place where people are genuinely safe and have each other's backs.
But being a safe place is only the beginning. The mission doesn't just stop inside the fortress walls, and that brings us to our second picture. The church is also meant to be a river of healing.
This idea comes from this incredible vision in the Bible of a river flowing out from God's holy place. And this river had a special promise. Wherever it flows, everything comes to life. It turns dry, dead places into beautiful gardens and brings healing with it.
So here's how this amazing river works. First, the water flows right out from God's presence. Second, it's so powerful that it brings life to wastelands. And third, along its banks, special trees pop up that provide food and medicine all the time. It's just a non-stop source of goodness.
Are you starting to see how these 2 pictures connect? The church isn't supposed to be a fortress where people just hide and keep all that safety and goodness to themselves. No way. It's also supposed to be like that river, a force that sends life and healing and blessings out into the world.
And this idea of goodness flowing out brings us to our final picture, the one that ties it all together. The church is meant to be a light for the world.
So the idea is, God calls his team, his people, out of a world that can feel pretty dark and confusing, and into his amazing, wonderful light. But they're not just supposed to hang out in the light by themselves. The whole point is for them to become a light for everyone else, helping people who are lost in the dark find their way.
This brings up a really important question, though. What happens if the team that's supposed to be a fortress, a river, and a light decides to just lock the doors and keep all that goodness for itself?
Well, the Bible actually tells us a story about that. With the ancient nation of Israel, God's plan was for them to be that river of blessing for the whole world. But instead, they kept those blessings all to themselves. Instead of sharing God's goodness, they pretty much built a wall to keep other people out.
They just forgot their mission. They got so focused on their own rules and their own community that they stopped being that river of healing and that light to the world. And because of that, God had to find a new team, starting with the disciples, to carry that light and get the original mission back on track. So let's wrap up the mission for the church today. It's a 3-part job. Number 1, be a fortress, a truly safe, supportive place for people. Number 2, be a river, a source of healing and life that flows out into the community. And number 3, be a light, sharing the hope and love of God with everyone, everywhere.
Okay, after hearing all of that, you might be thinking, whoa, that's a big mission. So what's my part in it? And you know what? That is the most important question of all.
Because here is the biggest takeaway. The church is not the building with the steeple. It's not the cool windows. It is the people. It's the team. A team made up of totally normal people. People just like you.
So the big question for you is this. Knowing the mission is to be a fortress, a river, and a light, how can you share a little bit of that safety, a little bit of that healing, and a little bit of all light with the people around you, right where you are, every single day? Because that's what it's all about. Thanks for figuring this out with me.